Hi you guys, I'm Eric. It's been a while since I've done a video. It's been about 18 days. The last video was on shortly after my birthday. Shortly after my birthday I uploaded it. I did film it on my birthday. I've come on here to kind of just talk how I've been feeling for the last about a week. It's been a weird one. I think my identity crisis has shifted past my birthday and into kind of still this week. So I'm in the car right now. I just took Rachel for her birthday because her birthday is February 16th. I'm doing it early. I just took her to go see the movie Wicked. Because she loves Ariana Grande and she's been kind of really into this movie, and I've noticed, and so I decided to take her there, and it was actually a really surprisingly good movie, and I enjoyed it a lot, which was a little bit strange for me. I didn't think I would. So tonight is weird for me. It feels weird because I'm in a very happy state, a very happy mood, and I have been for the last couple hours, since pretty much a little bit after the beginning of the movie. I don't know if I related to something or, it's generally a happy movie, but there's a few things in it that are pretty sad and downright depressing. But yeah, something has made me happy, and I think I understand what it is. For context, the last little while here, I don't want to say it's like I've been sad or solemn. I'm not going to use the word depressed. It's a very harsh term, and there's a lot of speculation with the word. Once you say you're depressed, people automatically think you're suicidal or need to be watched or something like that, right? I've been down for the last couple weeks, and as a general person, I usually have a lot of passions and or hobbies. This is a good little get to know me part, but I've tried sewing and quilting. I've tried everything from painting, writing, books, songs, anything I can write, poems. I've drawn pictures, I've made videos and short films, and there's not really a hobby I haven't tried, including entomology, which is basically when you stuff an animal, taxidermy. It's basically taxidermy, but for bugs, in a way, is the easiest way to describe it. Like I said, there's not many things I haven't tried. So usually when a new idea pops into my head, whether it's a project or a craft or a new hobby I can try out, I usually jump right on it, and I'm super excited, and I go 110% into it, and then I kind of just enjoy the results that I get. Whether they're, I've become one of the best people in the world, or whether it fails. I usually stick with that, and I say that's how I did, and that's how it's gonna stay. But I always usually commit to it, right? And I don't know, the last little while, I've thought up crafts and ideas and hobbies and things I can get into and try, and I even just think of what I have tried, and I think a lot. I'm a very thoughtful person in that way. But I don't feel excited for things, and it's really odd, really weird, especially for me, to not feel excited, because as I said, I usually jump into things, and that's because I get so excited about stuff. But recently I've just been like, what's the point? I've done so many things. I've done pretty much everything I've set out to do. Of course I haven't checked off my bucket list by any means. I want to travel and do this and do that. But I don't know, I'm at a weird point where I'm like, that stuff doesn't matter to me as much. And that's scary for me. It doesn't match my personality, which is, I think, what's kind of worrying me or scaring me a little bit, because it's like, usually I'd go, hey, there's something else on my bucket list to do, let me go try and do that. But recently it's just kind of, another thing that I'm okay not doing. And it's weird and it hurts, because it's like, I've never been okay with just not trying something. I've always been the type of guy to stick my hands in there and try things out. I don't know what it is, but I don't know if it's a lack of motivation, but I've lost all of my passion, I'll say. My passion to do something, and I'll think of a craft and I'll be like, well, that's a waste of time. And I think some of it might be financial burden, I'm 22. I've got a wife. I've got a cat. And we were moved out together, all three of us, last year. But we had to move back in with my parents. And that took a huge... that took a lot out of me, for sure. I get very emotional about that, because I always wanted to kind of be free and get married and do all this stuff and start my life, and I did it. And we were moved in with our best friend at the time. We no longer speak, which is another emotional hit that I took. But then having to kind of admit defeat and come back home, it was a walk of shame. It was. Because I was free and living my life and nobody could tell me anything, and then suddenly I was relying on people again, and I was back in with my parents. And I know I'm young still, but at the same time I feel so old. And I know people always say like, oh, I have a very old soul, which, you have a soul that's lived through many lives, and that's honestly how it feels, right? It feels like I've done it before, and it feels like I've done everything I need to do. And I guess that's kind of the biggest takeaway, is I feel like I've done everything that I need to do. So yeah, I think it was partially the loss of being kind of, in a way, free. I think my mental state right now is kind of partially that financial of, I was free and now I'm kind of, not again. But I think part of it is just I've done so much and I've done it so fast. I can count more than 20 hobbies I've done. And that includes musical instruments, different variations of hobbies, like you have knitting, which is so close to crocheting, so basically the same thing but different. There's sewing and quilting, basically same thing but it's different. Like I don't know, I feel like I've done all I'm supposed to do, and everything else now just requires money, and I don't have that. I wish I did, but I don't. And I feel like if I got a really good job, my passions would come back and I would be able to afford things, so I would probably go crazy again, but I also know that that's not a good thing. But talking about the movie tonight and why it was so weird for me, it's because I started to get excited and happy, and I was in a very joyous mood. And I think it's because every time I looked over at Rachel, her face was just lit up with the brightest joy I've seen on her for a while. She's definitely the happiest I've seen her in a while. And I was enjoying myself. It was a good movie. But I guess when people say that there's moments in life that bring families together, I think this was definitely one of them for us. And I mean, obviously, I'm not saying it made me love her more. That's not what I'm trying to portray here. It's more, I think my mind has stopped enjoying doing stuff for myself. I don't buy much for myself anymore. I see something I like and I don't really spend money. But if Rachel wants something, the money is usually gone before I even pay for the thing, The second she says she wants something, I usually jump on it. Sometimes, not all the time. But I think, in a way, I've kind of dedicated my life, and I'm dedicating my life because, for the last couple of years, I feel like she's given more to me than I have to her. And not like in love, right? But she moved in with me and my parents when we were, together for our first year. And then she moved into a little basement suite with me and my best friend, By no means were they best friends and all that stuff, so she gave me that too. I wanted a cat. She didn't like cats. She loves them now. But she gave that to me, right? And it's, as well as that, it's kind of like I've had all these passions, and I've kind of been trying to give her some passions because she didn't really have many hobbies or anything like that. So it was nice to kind of try and bond over some of that stuff and get her to experience something like that. And I know I was a bit of a burden in that way, she had to try this and try that and try this, and I don't know, I think I'm in my place of giving back now, of I'm trying to do stuff for her and look more into her hobbies that now she has and do stuff that makes her happy. I don't know if it's I don't feel like I should be happy, or I just don't feel the need to be happy, but I don't care to go out of my way to make myself happy. The only thing that matters to me is making her happy. So yeah, I'm happier tonight. Still a little bit solemn, a little sad, so I kind of just wanted to share how I'm feeling. And yeah, I'm trying to put a lot more towards her now, and I think that's a good thing. Sometimes it's good to give back to the people you love instead of just trying to take. That'll be all for today. Thank you for listening. Bye.